Okay, so we're diving into some pretty wild stuff today. Buckle up, because we're talking about a potential huge shift in 2025. Not just another year, not just another cycle, but like a total reset button for humanity.
Yeah, it's a pretty bold claim.
It is. It's this whole idea from KRYON, channeled by spiritual teacher Wendy Franklin. And you know we love exploring these big, perspective-shifting ideas here on the Deep Dive. So we're taking a deep dive straight into their take on this 2025 transformation.
Right, getting to the heart of it.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about unlocking some crazy human potential that's apparently been hidden within us, breaking free from old, outdated patterns that are holding us back, and a massive leap forward in global consciousness.
Stuff that really makes you rethink what it means to be human, right?
Absolutely. And we want to make this real for everyone listening. How could this actually affect your life? What does it even feel like? And then there are these big concepts like joy playing a role in multidimensional awareness, and how does our own free will even work with all this? This stuff is mind-blowing.
Definitely big questions and a lot to unpack. If KRYON and Wendy Franklin are right, we might be on the verge of a totally new way of experiencing reality.
So where do we even begin with something this massive? Let's start with something that sounds deceptively simple. Joy.
Okay, Joy.
KRYON, through Wendy Franklin, is saying that joy is way more than just a feeling you get when something good happens. They're describing it as this powerful vibrational frequency, like a core energy.
So it's more fundamental than we usually think of it,
Yeah.
not just happiness.
Right, exactly. And the really wild idea is that when enough of us tune into this joy frequency, it can actually change which timelines we experience. Like, we're all sending out this collective energy, and that energy attracts certain futures based on its vibration.
Like a magnet pulling us toward specific possibilities.
Exactly. So every time you choose joy,
Yeah,
even when things are tough, you're adding to this potential upshift for all of humanity.
that's a pretty empowering thought. Makes you rethink those little moments of joy.
It really does. And Wendy Franklin even brings up scientific research about emotions impacting the physical world. This energy we're sending out, it doesn't just stay inside us, it affects our own experiences and the reality we co-create with everyone around us.
Right, the idea that we're not just separate individuals, but part of this interconnected web.
Exactly. So think about the ripple effect. You focus on feeling joy, gratitude, love those high vibe energies. They radiate outward. Who knows how far they reach or what they influence?
It's almost like a chain reaction spreading outwards.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. But let's get real for a second. Life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. It can be tough to find joy when you're going through hard times.
It's true.
But this is where KRYON, through Wendy Franklin, really challenges us. They say joy isn't just a passive reaction to what happens to us. It's an active choice. It's a state we can cultivate through things like mindfulness, being present, connecting with our true selves.
So it's more like a practice, something we can work on.
Exactly. And the more we make that choice, the more we're playing a role in this potential global shift. The future isn't set in stone. We're constantly creating it with our state of being. Okay, so we've got this idea of choosing joy to potentially shift timelines. Are you ready for something even more mind-bending?
Hit me.
Okay, so we're stepping into the realm of multidimensionality and retrocausality.
Wow, those are some big words.
I know, right? But stick with me. KRYON's basically presenting multidimensionality as the next big leap in human understanding. It's this idea that we're moving beyond our usual way of seeing time as a straight line, past, present, future.
So not just a one-way flow of time.
Exactly. Imagine instead of a line, it's more like a stack of pancakes, right? Each pancake is a different layer of reality, and they all exist at the same time. That's the multidimensional part. Now here's the retrocausality. KRYON, through Wendy Franklin, says that the choices we make in our future can send ripples back in time, affecting our present, even our past.
Wait, so the future can change the past?
It sounds crazy, right? But there are physicists who are exploring these ideas, especially in quantum mechanics, where time isn't always as straightforward as we think.
It does make you wonder about how much we really understand about time.
Totally. And Wendy Franklin explains it like this. When we start to awaken to this multidimensional reality, it's like we gain access to those other pancakes. We're not stuck in the past anymore. We can potentially shift between timelines, reframe our experiences, and co-create a future that resonates with a higher level of consciousness.
That's a huge departure from thinking that everything is predetermined. It's like we have more say than we realize.
That's the point. KRYON's saying that as we awaken, we'll realize we've always had this ability to shape our destiny. It's not something new, it's something we're remembering.
That idea of remembering comes up a lot in spiritual traditions.
It does, and that's what KRYON seems to be emphasizing here. We're not being given this power in 2025. We're remembering it, we're reclaiming it.
That's a really powerful message.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential of joy and this mind-bending, multidimensional awareness. Now, how do we actually use this understanding to create a more positive future?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right. Wendy Franklin shares KRYON's insights on the power of intention. The idea that we can literally influence what happens by focusing our energy, our thoughts.
Intention, like setting a clear goal and directing your energy towards it.
Exactly. It's like we're the captains of our own ships, setting a course. And think about it. Spiritual practices all over the world have always emphasized things like prayer, visualization, and setting intentions. It's not a new idea.
And now science is starting to catch up, exploring how thoughts can impact reality. It's pretty exciting.
It is. Imagine if we all focused our intention together, sending out waves of love, peace, healing. KRYON suggests that this could not only affect our own personal lives, but also raise the vibration of the entire planet.
A collective upshift.
Yeah. And Wendy Franklin goes on to say that every single thought and emotion we experience has its own energy, its own vibration. When we align ourselves with higher intentions like peace, healing, abundance, we're essentially attracting realities that match those vibrations.
So it's not just about thinking positive thoughts, it's about embodying those energies.
Exactly. It's about aligning our whole being with what we want to create. And this is why things like group meditations or global healing efforts can be so powerful. It's amplified energy.
It really highlights the idea that we're all connected.
We are. And when we truly grasp this idea of co-creation, that we're not just passive observers, but active participants in shaping reality, that's when things start to get really interesting. KRYON even says that in 2025, we're going to see the tangible results of our collective energy playing out in the world.
So the stakes get higher.
They do. The question becomes, what kind of world are we choosing to create together? Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about our perception of time. KRYON's got some really fascinating ideas about this too. Have you ever noticed how time seems to feel different depending on your state of mind? Like when you're stressed, it drags on forever, but when you're engrossed in something you love, it flies by.
Oh, absolutely. It's like time is subjective.
Exactly. KRYON says that our perception of time is directly tied to our level of consciousness. As our awareness expands, time itself can feel different, more fluid. Maybe it speeds up, or maybe moments blend together, or perhaps you start noticing more synchronicities. Those meaningful coincidences that make you wonder if there's something more going on.
Like the universe is trying to tell you something.
Yeah. And KRYON suggests that time isn't this rigid thing. It's more like a construct that bends and shifts according to our vibration. When we're stuck in fear, time feels heavy and slow. But when we're in a state of joy, inspiration, time seems to flow faster. Things move with more ease.
So our inner state affects our experience of time.
It does. And Wendy Franklin even describes this as a potential collapse of linear time, where we begin to understand that past, present, future, they're not separate compartments, they're interconnected, they all exist at once. And with that understanding, we can actually learn to navigate and even influence these timelines.
Wow, that's a huge concept.
It is. And KRYON emphasizes that as the Earth's overall vibration continues to rise, especially around 2025, these timelines will become even more fluid. Things will manifest faster, especially for those who understand how this dynamic works.
So we have more potential to shape our reality.
Precisely. The speed dial for creating our reality is getting faster. Okay, ready for another big one? Let's talk about free will.
Free will, that's a topic that's been debated for centuries.
It has, and KRYON's got a really unique perspective on it. He says that our free will isn't limited to the choices we make right now in this present moment. It extends way beyond that. It affects broader levels of creation, stuff we might not even consider possible right now.
So not just choosing what to eat or wear, but choices that impact the very fabric of reality.
Exactly. Every single thought, every action sends out these ripples of energy. Wendy Franklin adds that as we awaken, we start to unlock deeper levels of free will. It's like we're not just choosing what happens in this lifetime, but influencing past and future expressions of ourselves, shifting probabilities.
So we have more agency than we realize.
We do. And the key to unlocking this expanded free will, KRYON says, is awareness. When we understand that all these possibilities exist, when we grasp the truly limitless potential we have, that's when we can really start to wield this power consciously.
It's like waking up to a whole new set of controls.
That's a great way to put it. Now, KRYON often uses this really powerful metaphor to describe awakened individuals, lighthouses.
Lighthouses.
Yeah, imagine a lighthouse standing strong during a storm, its light cutting through the darkness, guiding ships to safety. KRYON saying that's what we can be like during this time of change. Wendy Franklin emphasizes that this shift in 2025 isn't about waiting for someone else to save the world. It's about each of us stepping into our own power, radiating our own light.
So it's an inside-out transformation.
Exactly. And as our understanding of free will expands, we realize that our very presence, our state of being, can influence reality. It's like we become walking, talking lighthouses, subtly shifting the energy around us just by who we are.
That's beautiful.
It is. And Wendy Franklin calls this the silent revolution of consciousness, a transformation driven not by force or fighting, but by the frequency we embody. The more we anchor ourselves in love, clarity, and alignment, the more we naturally inspire others to do the same.
That's like a ripple effect of positive energy.
Yeah, exactly. Now, embodying that lighthouse energy isn't always easy. There's going to be resistance, people who are afraid of change. But KRYON teaches that true lighthouses don't argue with the darkness. They just shine brighter.
Lead by example.
Exactly. The most powerful way to uplift humanity is by embodying the new paradigm ourselves. And as we do that, we realize that this awakening isn't just for us. It's about playing a role in this massive shift in consciousness that's happening on the planet.
It's a pretty awe-inspiring responsibility.
It is. Okay, let's dive into one of KRYON's really big ideas, conscious evolution. He's saying that this is the next huge leap for humanity. But unlike past advancements, which have focused on things like technology or economics, this one is internal.
So an evolution of consciousness.
Exactly. And Wendy Franklin clarifies that it's not about becoming something totally different. It's about remembering who we truly are, reclaiming our multidimensional nature.
Shedding those limitations we've placed on ourselves.
Right. For so long, human progress has been about external things like technology and conquering new frontiers. But now, KRYON's saying the most important frontier is within.
It's about exploring the vastness of our inner world.
Exactly. And he suggests that abilities we might consider supernatural, like telepathy, energy healing, perceiving beyond our five senses, these are actually latent capacities within us, just waiting to be activated. And as the Earth's vibration rises, these abilities will naturally awaken. Wendy Franklin says people are already experiencing this.
Like increased intuition, synchronicities, and even manifestation.
Yes, it's happening now. But here's the thing. This conscious evolution isn't just going to happen automatically. It requires our active intention and a willingness to align with these higher frequencies. KRYON even says that those who resist this internal shift might experience more disconnection and struggle.
While those who embrace it will experience a whole new level of reality.
It's a crossroads, a choice point for humanity. Do we cling to the past, or do we step into the vast possibilities of the future?
A pretty pivotal moment.
It is. Now, this next part is really interesting. KRYON's perspective on the role of technology in all of this. We often think of technology and spirituality as separate things, but he's saying that as humanity evolves, technology can become a bridge to higher consciousness.
A bridge to higher consciousness. That's intriguing.
It is, and Wendy Franklin expands on this, saying that the tools we create are essentially extensions of our collective awareness. As our consciousness shifts, so will the purpose and use of technology.
So technology will reflect our evolution.
Exactly. She even talks about quantum technology as a perfect example. Quantum systems work on multi-dimensional principles, mirroring our own evolution beyond linear thinking.
So quantum technology could help us tap into our multidimensional selves.
That's the idea. Imagine a future where we use frequencies for healing, where AI helps us access spiritual wisdom, and where free energy eliminates scarcity.
That's a very different future than what we're often told to expect.
It is. But Wendy Franklin reminds us that technology is only as conscious as the people who create it. If we develop it with love and understanding, it can uplift humanity. But if it's driven by fear and control, it can become a tool for division and oppression.
It all comes back to intention.
It always does. KRYON's message is clear. Our spiritual evolution and technological advancement need to go hand in hand. If we want to ascend, we need to make sure that technology serves the highest good. Okay, ready to go a little deeper into the esoteric side of things?
I'm all ears.
Let's talk about the pineal gland. KRYON describes it as our built-in gateway to higher dimensions, a kind of spiritual antenna.
The pineal gland, I've heard about this. It's often called the third eye, right?
Exactly. But KRYON says that for a long time it's been dormant in most people, veiled by the density of our third dimensional experience. And as the Earth's vibration rises, this veil is lifting.
So more people will start to experience its potential.
That's the idea. Wendy Franklin even brings up scientific research that's found photoreceptor cells in the pineal gland. So it's literally sensitive to light and possibly other forms of energy.
That's pretty wild.
It is. It gives scientific backing to the idea of the pineal gland as a way of perceiving beyond our physical sight. And KRYON teaches that as the pineal gland activates, it starts to pick up information from higher realms.
So more intuition, maybe even psychic abilities?
Wendy Franklin says people who are experiencing this awakening might have more vivid dreams, stronger intuition, and a clearer connection to their inner voice.
It's like opening up a whole new channel of perception.
Exactly. But the pineal gland is just one part of this. KRYON also talks about our DNA going through a transformation.
DNA transformation, that sounds intense.
It is. You know how scientists have labeled a big chunk of our DNA as junk DNA because they don't understand its function?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Well, KRYON says that this so-called junk is actually dormant, multidimensional coding. It's like a hidden blueprint for our full potential, waiting to be activated. And as we align with higher states of consciousness, these hidden strands of DNA start to wake up.
So we're literally evolving at a genetic level.
That's what he's saying. It's not a sudden change, more like a gradual unfolding. We're remembering who we truly are at our core. And here's another mind-blowing detail. Wendy Franklin shares KRYON's teaching about a 24th chromosome pair emerging in human DNA.
Wait, 24th? I thought we only had 23 pairs.
That's what science currently recognizes, but KRYON says that this additional pair, which is energetic rather than physical, is a sign of our spiritual evolution.
So it's an energetic upgrade to our DNA.
Exactly. It's aligning us with higher dimensions. And spiritual teachings have hinted at this for centuries.
It's like a prophecy coming true at a cellular level.
It is. Wendy Franklin says this activation is why many people are experiencing subtle but profound shifts in their reality. Our bodies are responding to new cosmic frequencies.
It's like we're being upgraded for a whole new reality.
That's a great way to put it. So how do we help this activation along? KRYON teaches that cultivating higher states of consciousness naturally stimulates this evolution. Practices like meditation, heart-centered living, aligning with divine frequencies.
So it's about creating the right inner environment for this transformation to happen.
Exactly. It's not about striving to become something we're not. It's about remembering and embodying who we truly are. Okay, ready for the cosmic zoom out?
Always.
KRYON's suggesting that as we awaken to this higher level of consciousness and unlock these dormant abilities, we're being prepared for something even bigger, our entry into the galactic community.
Wow, that's taking to a whole other level.
I know, right? It's this idea that Earth has been kind of isolated for a long time, veiled from the broader cosmic family, maybe even experiencing a collective amnesia about our interstellar connections.
So we've been like a hidden planet.
In a way, yes. And Wendy Franklin says that 2025 marks the beginning of the end of this isolation. We're stepping into our rightful place among other civilizations.
So it's like we're joining the Galactic Club.
Exactly. But why now? KRYON says that as our planet's vibration rises, we become more visible to these advanced beings who've always been out there.
They've been operating at a frequency we couldn't perceive.
Exactly. And as we shift into expanded awareness and heart-centered consciousness, it's like we're sending out a signal, a cosmic invitation. Wendy Franklin emphasizes that this isn't about being rescued. It's about a mutual recognition that we've evolved to a point where we can connect and collaborate on a much larger scale.
It's like we're finally ready to play on the cosmic stage.
Yes. But here's a really important point KRYON makes. Entering this wider community requires responsibility and spiritual maturity. It's not just about technology, it's about our inner development. He says civilizations throughout cosmic history have gone through awakenings, and the ones that thrived were the ones that navigated this new awareness wisely. If we fall into fear, division, or misuse our power, we could mess things up.
It's a reminder that great power comes with great responsibility.
It does. But if we approach this with wisdom, integrity, and unity, Imagine the possibilities.
Whole new era of cosmic collaboration.
Exactly. Now, this next teaching from KRYON is a little bit challenging. He says that even darkness, in all its forms, serves a purpose in the evolution of consciousness.
So even the negative stuff has a role to play.
That's what he's saying. Wendy Franklin explains that it's the contrast between light and dark that pushes us to awaken, to question, to seek higher truth. If there was only light, would we even appreciate it?
We need the darkness to understand the light.
Right. And KRYON even suggests that all the difficult stuff we've experienced as a species, the wars, the injustice, the desire for control, all of that has actually served as a catalyst for our awakening. The shadows get darker, and it pushes us to find something beyond them. Wendy Franklin reminds us that every major transformation in history has come from struggle. It's like pressure creates diamonds.
So challenges help us evolve.
They do, but here's the important part. KRYON emphasizes that darkness doesn't win in the end. It serves a temporary function and then dissolves as consciousness expands. Fear-based systems can't survive in higher energetic fields. That's why we're seeing so many old structures, crumbling governments, financial systems. It's not necessarily destruction, it's a sign that something new is being born.
It's like clearing out the old to make space for the new.
Exactly. And KRYON says that for a long time, humanity has been operating from these old energy patterns. Fear, separation, control, limitation. But 2025 marks an acceleration of a massive shift away from that. Wendy Franklin calls it the Great Divide. Those who cling to the old ways are going to struggle, while those who embrace the new energies will flourish.
The fork in the road.
Yeah. The old paradigm was hierarchical, built on scarcity, dependent on external authority. But the new consciousness is different. It's fluid, decentralized, based on inner wisdom. And Wendy Franklin points out that this is why so many institutions are in upheaval right now. They were designed for the old energy, and it's not working anymore.
They can't keep up with the rising vibration.
They can't. And the new consciousness, it values intuition, collaboration over competition. It's about remembering our power as creators.
It's a whole new way of being in the world.
It is. Okay, ready for another big one? This one's really exciting. The quantum power of intention.
Intention again.
It's central to all of this. KRYON's saying that our thoughts and emotions literally affect physical reality, and science is actually starting to back this up.
The mind-matter connection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wendy Franklin even says that in this new consciousness, our ability to manifest our desires will increase exponentially.
Manifestation getting a supercharge.
Yeah. But how does it actually work? KRYON explains that intention is like a quantum command. It sends out vibrations into the field of reality, and those vibrations shape what manifests. He calls it the law of resonance. You get back what you put out.
So if you're putting out fear, you're more likely to experience fear.
Exactly. And Wendy Franklin says that with the increased energy around 2025, this law of resonance will be amplified. So our intentions, positive or negative, will manifest faster.
That's a powerful incentive to focus on the positive.
It is. But here's the catch. Intention alone isn't enough. KRYON says it has to be coupled with belief. If you have doubts, it sends mixed signals. The quantum field responds to certainty. And Wendy Franklin adds that true co-creation is about embodying the energy of what you want to manifest, not just wishing for it. It's about becoming a vibrational match to your desires.
So aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with your goals.
Exactly. It's about becoming the architect of your reality.
Powerful stuff.
It is. Now, for anyone listening who's wondering if they're experiencing this awakening, KRYON says it's not a big, dramatic event. It's a personal realization of truth, a subtle shift. Wendy Franklin lists some signs to look for. Changes in your perception of time, more synchronicities, seeing beyond the surface level of things, heightened intuition.
It sounds like it's more about feeling a shift than seeing it.
It is. It's about a deeper knowing. She also says that old fears and limiting beliefs might start to fall away, and there's a growing sense of compassion and empathy. KRYON emphasizes that true awakening is about the expansion of love. You start to see everyone as connected, as part of you.
It's a beautiful vision of unity.
It is. Okay, so what does it all mean? What does it mean to be human in 2025 and beyond? KRYON's message is profound. We are far more than we realize. We are divine creators in physical form.
Not just limited beings, but powerful creators.
Exactly. And Wendy Franklin says that the coming years are about stepping into that potential, a time when our understanding of energy, consciousness, existence will explode. KRYON teaches that as we embrace our multidimensional nature, new abilities will naturally emerge, things like telepathy, energy healing, interdimensional awareness. This is going to redefine what it means to be human. We're evolving in every way.
It's a whole new chapter in the human story.
It is. And KRYON's final message for 2025 is this. The future isn't something we wait for, it's something we create now. Wendy Franklin emphasizes that reality is shaped by consciousness, not by external events.
So we're not just along for the ride. We're driving.
Exactly. And the most liberating thing we can do is to let go of those old limitations and embrace the truth of our limitless potential. Wendy Franklin asks us to imagine, what would you create if you had no fear? How would you live if you knew you were a divine creator?
Those are powerful questions.
They are, and as more and more people wake up, the entire planet's energy field changes. KRYON says things will manifest faster, synchronicities will increase.
It's like the universe is conspiring to support our evolution.
It is. Wendy Franklin says aligning with love, unity, and expansion will make everything flow more easily, while resistance will create friction. But this isn't a time for fear, it's a time for celebration. KRYON reminds us that we chose to be here for a reason. We all have a role to play. Wendy Franklin says every moment is an opportunity to embody our highest potential, to choose compassion, to be present, to create. We're making history.
And we get to be a part of it.
We do. So the big question, where do we go from here? The answer, according to KRYON and Wendy Franklin, is simple, wherever we choose. The energy of 2025 and beyond is being shaped right now by our collective intention, our awareness, and our love. KRYON's final call to action. Step into your power, live with joy, create with purpose, love without fear. The future is now.
It's an inspiring message of hope and possibility.
It is. So, to sum up our deep dive into KRYON's insights on this potential 2025 transformation, it's all about recognizing our power, both individually and collectively, the power of our thoughts, our emotions, our intentions, and the incredible potential that's waiting to be unlocked within us.
It's about remembering who we truly are and stepping into that truth.
Exactly. And here's a final question for you to ponder. How might even a small shift in your focus towards joy, towards setting positive intentions, how might that contribute to this global transformation? What doors could that open in your own life and for humanity as a whole?
It's a reminder that even small acts of awareness and intention can have a ripple effect.
They can, and we encourage you to explore these ideas, see what resonates with you. This is just the beginning of a fascinating journey.
To a new era of human potential.
To a new era.